Let's continue with the center front block. The bust line, waistline, and hip line have been marked across to the center front already. It now remains the shoulder line, base of neckline, and chest line to be added to the front. Point O at the front is marked on the top line, which makes it higher than point O at the center back. From point O and below the center front, I'll be marking the shoulder line, 1 3/4 inches in small and medium sizes, and it is marked 1.5 inches in larger sizes. So first, I'll go ahead and mark my shoulder line, 1 3/4 inches in this case, because this is a medium size. This line goes into the center front only halfway. Next is the base of the neckline. From point O below the center front, I'll be marking the base of the neckline 3 inches in medium and small sizes. In larger sizes, 3 1/4 inches or 3.5 inches. To complete the neckline, on the top line, I'll be marking the width of the neckline, which equals to the width of the back neckline. In this draft, 2 3/4 inches. And then I'll go ahead and mark the neck point. So, and this is the front neck point. To complete the curve of the neckline, I'll be dropping a vertical line, same length as the base of the neckline, and the width as the width, same width as the width of the neckline. On the angle formed, I'll go out 1 1/8 inches in medium and small sizes, 1 3/8 inches in larger sizes to complete the curve of the neckline. So I'll be curving the neckline from the neck point to the base, keeping it straight before getting to the center front so as to give it a nice curve. Measure above the bust line 1.5 inches for the chest line. This is fixed in all sizes. So I'll be measuring above the bust line 1.5 inches for the chest line. This line goes into the center front halfway. Here I have the chest line, the shoulder line, and the base of the neckline and the neckline drawn already. On the shoulder line from the center front, measure 6.5 inches. This is fixed in all sizes. Through the point from the neck point, rule a provisional shoulder seam, measuring about 8 or 8.5 inches. On the bust line, measure 1/4 of chest width, which is 15 inches in this draft. 1/4 of 15 inches, that is 15 inches divided by 4, leaving me with 3 3/4 inches. On the bust line from the center front, I'll be measuring 3 3/4 inches. From the last point on the bust line, I'll be dropping that line by 3/4 inches. This is fixed in all sizes. Again, on the shoulder line, I will also go ahead and mark the same width that was marked on the bust line, that is 1/4 of chest width. This will serve as a guide for drawing the shoulder dart. So from the point above, I'll be ruling with broken lines to the point below the bust. On the shoulder line to the left, from the broken line, mark 3/4 inches for the inner dart line. On the shoulder line, from the broken line, mark 3/4 inches. This is faced in all sizes. From that point, rule the inner dart line to the line below the bust line. Still on the shoulder line, from the inner dart line, measure the dart width, which is 3 inches in this case. Rule from the 3 inches line the outer dart line to the point below the bust line. With this, the dart is formed. Complete the shoulder seam by measuring the actual shoulder length plus the dart width. The actual shoulder length of this draft is 5 inches and the dart width is 3 inches. So 5 plus 3, that will be leaving me with 8 inches. On the end point along the shoulder line, I will go ahead and mark 8 inches. And that is the front SP, shoulder point. On the chest line, measure half of chest width, leaving out the dart. For chest width, 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. So from the center front on the chest line, I will go ahead and mark 7.5 inches, missing out this dart. That is the gap of the dart at the middle point. So from the center point, I'll be measuring 7.5 inches, dropping out the dart, and this is what I have. So after marking that, I'll go back and check the dart width, which in this case is 3/4 inches. I'll be moving it, adding it to the chest width already marked. So that will be the chest point. Next, check everything you have for the chest point. Measure the same on the bust line and drop a short line from the chest point to the bust line. Having done that, again, I'll be ruling a line from shoulder point to connect with the chest point. Yes, go ahead and check the length of that line, and on the midpoint, mark 3/8 inches in for the curve of the armhole. And from the angle formed on the bust line, go out by ½ inch. This is faced in all sizes. So to complete the curve of the armhole, I'll be checking everything I have on the back bust line, and I will take that out from the actual bust width of this draft. What that means is that the bust width of this draft earlier was half of bust width, which is 18, plus 2 inches, which is 20. That's what I have on this draft. So whatever I have on the back, I'll be taking it out from the 20 inches. Here I have 9.5 inches. So 20 minus 9.5, that will be 10.5. So I'll be marking 10.5 inches from the center on the bust line from the center front, and that is the front underarm point. So to complete the curve of the armhole, I will be ruling a line from shoulder point through the 3/4 inch marked inward from the middle, and the angle and then to the UP. The armhole dips slightly below the bust line before reaching the UP. Next, on the hip point, measure 1/4 of hip measurement plus 1 1/8 inches. For this draft, the hip measurement is 40 inches. 1/4 of 40, that is 40 divided by 4, is 10 inches. Plus 1 1/8 inches, I'll be having 11 1/8 inches. So on the hip point from the center back, on the hip point from the center front, I'll go ahead and mark 11 and 1/8 inches. That is the front HP. As you can see, it's touching in this case because that was the measurement that was used to create this rectangular box. So this might not happen in all cases. So I'll be ruling a line from front underarm point to the hip point. This is the front straight side seam. On the waist point, I'll be marking 1/2 inch in. That's the outer side seam of the front. So from the point on the waist, I will rule to the point of the underarm. For the dropped waistline, measure 3/8 inch below the waistline in small and medium sizes, 1/2 inches in larger sizes. And then on the side seam, measure below the waistline 1/4 inch. So first, I'll be measuring 3/8 inch below the waistline and 1/4 inch below the side seam on the waistline. This is the dropped waistline. So I'll be connecting from the side seam to the center front line. On the center back, I will also mark below the waist on the side seam the same measurement, which is 1/4 inch for the dropped waistline. At the back, this line is ruled to the actual back, to the actual waistline on the center back, and that is the dropped waistline on the back and on the front block. Yes, for now the block is almost ready, except that as it is right now, it has a loose fitting on the waist. So for it to fit to the contour of the body, it is important to shape the waist, and that's what I'll be doing in my next video.